Hello everyone! Welcome back to Drawn by Annie channel. This is me, Annie, and I will be drawing for you today. Grab your tea, coffee and snacks and let's dive into today's video. Today I'm going to be working on the rest of the artwork that I've actually started during one of my live streams, but apparently the video of me coloring the first part of this card was corrupted, so yeah, that's a shame. But nonetheless, the sketch is there and it needs coloring, so let's get going. And Sparrow is going to help me today because he has been very clingy recently because of my travels and I've been away for a few weeks, so I'm going to give him pets every 5 seconds. And meanwhile work on the second half of this Frozen 2 fan art of sisters Elsa and Anna. Since it's winter season, I had a huge urge to draw something winter related, and I thought it would be a perfect opportunity for me to draw Elsa and Anna together holding some hot cocoa and gingerbread cookies and offer them to you. So for this artwork, I decided I would go with a little more textured paper that was meant to be a watercolor painting, but I find it really useful when I'm working with markers because they're also a little bit on a watery side of traditional medium. And I also like how the textured paper looks together with alcohol-based markers as well. So as you have seen a little sneak peek from my sketchbook, I sketched out the idea inside my sketchbook just to see on an actual paper if the idea from my head will look any good on an actual physical paper. Sometimes I find myself thinking, oh, this could look so good, and then when I sketch it out, it doesn't really look good to me, so I ditched the idea and tried to look for something else instead. But this was not the case this time, so I just proceeded with using the same idea and kind of copy paste the sketch on the paper that I wanted to use. I did it with an erasable coloring sketch pencil from Faber-Castell because I wanted the sketch to be very light and not ruin the paper in case I needed to erase something, because a textured paper tends to be really easily damaged with eraser no matter how careful you are when trying to erase. So I tried to keep it as light and less detailed as possible, but still give myself enough guidance for later coloring. The main idea of this drawing was to be a part of the Frozen characters' tea party, as if I was sitting right there next to the sisters and they would offer me some cocoa and gingerbread. It would be very heartwarming to me, honestly, because I love tea parties and I would love to hang out with my friends from back home and also the ones that I've made here in the new country that I moved to. But the older we get, the more adult stuff falls onto our shoulders and responsibilities and work and all the boring stuff, you know. And the hardest challenge for the adulthood people is actually find some suitable time for everybody so we could actually hang out somewhere together at one point of the time. If you're somebody who is still in school or in college, my old Auntie Annie advice to you is to take as much time with your friends and hang out a lot with people as much as you can while you can, because later on it will only get harder and harder because everybody's going to be the busier and busier and busier with life. So when I was done with the sketch, I was pretty much happy with how it looks and I was ready to start coloring, and that's what I actually did. And I also live streamed this process and it was really fun. So in case you want to join a live stream, check out my TikTok, and if you follow me there, you're going to receive the notification next time I go live to stream some of the art process for you in the moment. And we can always hang out together, listen to some music, have a chat, you know, the fun stuff. I tried to record the stream, but apparently something happened during it and the video became corrupt and not usable at all, like it didn't open. So sadly, I cannot show you how I colored Anna, but I managed to record the process of coloring for Elsa and the left part of this card. My favorite part of Anna's and Elsa's designs are that they are so contrast to each other, yet they are sisters. And at first, I was a little bit concerned on how it will look together because it will have a lot of different colors, you know, and I wanted to make it look unified, if that makes sense. So for that, I decided I would put some Christmas tree branches on the background so it will add up even more festive feeling and wintry feeling and make the drawing more unified because of the background. And I wanted to experiment a little bit with the art style, so they turned out to be a little bit alike with doll style, like their faces look a little bit Barbie-ish to me. I'm not sure exactly why, but probably because of their eyes and lips styles. Also, I wasn't planning to do any line art, but when I finished coloring Anna's half, I decided I would still give it a little line art, but this time I wanted it to be as thin as possible, so I took one of the thinnest liners in my collections and it actually did a great job. I gave a little bit more accent on the lashes, but the rest of the drawing is pretty thin line arted. Is that even a word? Never mind. And also mid-coloring I realized that Elsa's design is so light and bright, it will probably need line art later on. So in order to keep the drawing unified, as I said before, I need to use the same techniques. So if I gave Anna a thin line art, I would have to give the same type of line art to Elsa as well. And also, let's be honest, I just love doing line art. Like, this is my favorite part. How can I skip it? Come on. Give this video a thumbs up if you're also a line art lover. Now that I draw sisters from Frozen 2, I kind of want to rewatch the whole thing, starting from the first movie and then finishing the rest. Because Frozen gives such a nice winter atmosphere that I miss a lot, because I come from a country that has 4 seasons, so including winter, and has snow, or at least used to have. Global warming. And I can't help it but miss the snowy days, because this country doesn't have snow at all, which makes me miss snow a lot and makes me want to go home just to see the snow, if there is any. But one of the dreams that I wish that would be fulfilled at some point is to go to Finland, Santa Claus village in Lapland, because this is like the northern part of the country, and I think that there's mostly snow there, or at least during winter there's enough snow for me to fulfill my winter cravings. And it always looks so beautiful and so magical. I think Frozen perfectly passed on this winter vibe and atmosphere. I feel like in my previous life I was a Viking or something, because I just feel that wintry forest is the place that would make me so happy. Like to live in a wooden house in the woods that are covered in snow, and then sit next to a fireplace reading a book or doing a sketch in my sketchbook and drinking some warm drink and maybe hugging my husband and having my cat snuggle around. That just feels like a dream. But apparently I cannot live in my dream for now, at least. So I'm trying to make little things that would feel like a dream come true. For example, I am baking my own gingerbread and painting it with the frosting that I also can make at home. It's not really that hard, honestly. Like, if you can follow any recipe in cooking, you can do it at home too. And not only you get to eat the cookies in the end, the whole process of baking is just so full of aroma and spice, and then the whole house is filled with this amazing smell. That's one of the reasons that I like to have friends over, so we can bake cookies together and then eat them together with tea or some other hot drinks. Another little thing that I'm doing is also connected to cooking and smells. It's what I called aromatherapy. So I take a few ingredients, put them into a saucepan and simmer them on a very, very slow fire, so it will not burn but yet start giving away the smells and aromas of the ingredients, so the whole house feels more cozier because of this nice smell. And ingredients are usually very simple too. I take oranges, cinnamon sticks, apples, some cloves, some nutmeg and ginger, and the whole thing, you can actually drink it after you simmer it for like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, not for too long. But if you don't want to drink it, you can just simmer it for hours. Like you can simmer it the whole day and it will give this amazing aroma that will last a few days after that as well. And for some reason, I feel like my stress is just melting if I'm doing this. So that's why I kind of call it an aromatherapy, because it just does this healing effect for me and my anxious brain. And of course, one of the favorite parts of the winter season is putting out the decorations. This is the most exciting one. And now that we have finally obtained our own house, we don't have to move anymore, and I can start actually buying nice decorations and also make my own and hang them out and make my own ornaments on the Christmas tree, for example, as well, and hang illuminations all over the house. This is so exciting! Ever since I can remember myself, I always loved December because of all of these decorations and shiny ornaments all over the house and the lights. And not only the house, by the way, like I love that the city is also decorated here and there, and all the malls and all the buildings are full of the illuminations and Christmas decorations, and I just love when people are vibing, so I'm vibing with them together. The only thing that is annoying around the malls is to hear the same songs all over again. I remember when I was working in a mall at some point of my life, it was one of a torture to listen to the Christmas playlist consisting of like maybe 20 songs in the best case. That they're just on repeat for 8 weeks, starting from November and ending in January somewhere. This is something that is triggering me up until this day. And every time I go to mall, I hear these songs, I'm like, oh, poor people, poor workers, they have to listen to this over and over again. And me as a customer, I can leave whenever. If you have ever worked in retail or in the mall, you know the pain. And if you didn't, be kind to the retail workers. I swear, they deserve it because they go through so much stress every day. The least we could do is be kind to them and be grateful for their work. Of course, sometimes the retail staff are also rude and unprofessional, and I'm not saying to, encourage them if they're being rude to you, but like, just don't take it personally. Everybody can have a bad day, Just a little thought on the side. Christmas and New Year's time is always a time to reflect to yourself, to your past, and to plan things for the future. And it's a nice time to remind yourself to be kind to everybody. Just like lovely Elsa and Anna are being kind to you and offering a hot drink and a tasty cookie to enjoy together beside one table. So when the base colors are more or less done and the background colors is also there, I'm going in with my liners to give it more fine detailing and line out Elsa's patterns on her dress, give a more defined look to her eyes with the lashes, and also detail out her strands of hair, and not forget to give frosting to these nice gingerbread cookies. I had this idea in mind to give more finer details on top of the whole drawing, especially for Elsa, with a white acrylic paint pen, because it's way easier to use acrylic paint or gel pens on top of the marker drawing, because it's really hard to keep the empty space without any color, to keep it white or like paper colored, because alcohol-based markers, they are a little bit on the watery side of a medium and they tend to bleed a little bit further, like a millimeter or so. Especially with newer markers, they have a lot of pigment and a lot of alcohol, and it can blend even up to 2 millimeters from the point of your marker where it's touching the paper, So in this case, it's really nearly impossible to keep the white parts untouched. So it's way easier to just use some other medium, something that is opaque and can be placed on top of the alcohol-based markers, such as paint, for example. So as soon as I'm done detailing out with my liners, I'm going to give some finishing touches with white pens. And even though it's acrylic paint pen, it's still not as opaque as, for example, gouache or whole paint if I would use the paint from the tube, not the marker, for example. So it's not going to fully cover what's underneath it, and that's exactly the effect I'm going for, because I want it to be just a little bit shinier and have more white dots like a snowflakes. Generally, I would love to do that in digital, usually on top of my traditional medium drawing, just to make it more better and look nicer in digital and a scan if I would to use it for a card or a print or something. But for the original, I'm just going to use the white pens, the ones that I have on hand in my collection, and they are working just fine. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. If I need a brighter look, I can always make more layers and put them on top of each other, so it's going to become even more brighter. But here I don't think that I'm going to do that, because I just like how it looks already. And those white lines and white decorations are just going to be an enhancement for the finished look. So as a finishing touch to this lovely little card, I decided to give it some shine with acrylic paint pen in a silver color. Sorry, my brain is not braining anymore. So yeah, as I gave Anna a little bit of a golden shine, I decided that I would also give Elsa some shine, but with silver color, because it fits her outfit more. And with that, the card is finally done. It took me like 2 hours to finish it, and the card is not even that big. The size of a paper is A5, and as you can see, even the small paper can take up a lot of time to finish the drawing. So if you are just a beginner, be very kind to yourself and give yourself some time, and don't rush till the end result. The best part is the process itself. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Elsa, Anna, and me are wishing you a wonderful day ahead, and thank you so much for joining me on this video. If you like my work and you want to support my channel, please leave a like, subscribe to this channel and my other social media, and also leave your thoughts down in the comments. Hope you have a wonderful day ahead, and see you in the next one. Bye bye!